Hello, welcome. Going to take a look at 4 M.A.S.K toys from Kenner that released in 1985. So on the table right now is just a coloring book. It's another M.A.S.K item I own, the only other M.A.S.K item. Not a huge M.A.S.K fan. In 1985, G.I. Joe and Transformers were a much bigger deal to me, but I watched the cartoon of M.A.S.K, which ran for 2 seasons. And the coloring book, I'll have a few scans on the blog for, and photos of all the toys, of course. Really, it's just, if you want to print them and color them, I guess. Because I'm not going to copy this whole thing, it's too long. There's this kid in a robot called T-Bob that I don't remember at all. I had to do a lot of research and take notes to kind of remember what the names of all these toys are. So let me move on to the first toy, which is the only one I have packaging for. But at least you can get an idea of what the packaging looked like with the color scheme and the logo. Now, M.A.S.K stands for Mobile Armor Strike Command, spelling command with a K. These silly acronyms. The bad guys are worse, which I'll mention on the next toy. So you can see on the box, it's a motorcycle. It transforms into a helicopter. And being from Kenner, Kenner also made Star Wars, so you can tell the proof of purchase looks very similar to what you'd find on the Star Wars action figures and toys. Pull everything out. I don't have any other paperwork. I don't know if I have it somewhere or it's just gone for good. But this is what you get with each one. Fortunately, I have everything that came with this one. So, usually get a sticker sheet. And of course I stuck the stickers on here, but I still have the sheath. Minus the stickers. They all came with comic books, kind of like Mattel would put comic books with Masters of the Universe. These are much smaller though, and they're all black and white. Aside from the cover, which is color. Now, I only scanned the cover of this. Sorry, I didn't scan the whole thing. It's kind of long. So it'll be on the blog. I did scan the full instruction sheet. Although this toy is very simplistic. It's the most simple, I believe, of all the toys. Now, I only own 4, but just looking at all the vehicles and in the 4 series of toy line, this has to be the most simplistic. There are no buttons on this toy. Most of them have some kind of action buttons. But this one is very basic. And of course they came with the catalog. This is all Series 1. As you can see all the toys in Series 1 and the board game. This is the headquarter playset. And then most of the toy line is just vehicles, although you could buy some of the characters separately in a 2-pack. And then they also released, they call it adventure packs, which would be a character with some accessories. Because none of the characters other than their mask have accessories, and their hands don't grip anything. The backside has a poster with all the vehicles and the playset there. So, character names don't really mean a whole lot, I'll tell you. This one is Brad Turner, and they do all have knee joints. So there's nothing for him to grip, but he couldn't anyway. There's a kickstand that pulls out there. But then to transform into the helicopter, you pull this whole piece down. And the wheel folds out. And the wings, or the blades, they're snapped in place. And you gotta make sure the character's sitting kind of all the way down, or his head gets in the way. Because the wing, or the blades, I keep calling them wings, have to be kind of straight to not hit his head. Then of course they're also hitting the back wheel if they're not, not perfectly placed. So it's a very basic one. Not the most detailed toy. The other ones are better. But it is nice to have the packaging at least for one of them. These characters, these toys, they're quite small. Let me just give you a comparison here. Let me show you without his helmet as well. The helmets do serve a purpose, not in the toys per se. You just have to pretend, but in the cartoon they each have a special ability, the helmets. I don't recall who does what. Grab my McDonald's McMetrics ruler and a G.I. Joe figure, Doc, for a comparison here on size. So of course G.I. Joe's are 3 3/4 inches, and this guy's about 2.5. But all their features are so tiny that you can't. The scale really is the problem with a lot of toy lines if you wanted to, combine them. Now Hasbro does own M.A.S.K now because it acquired Kenner in the early 90s. There was talk of combining the M.A.S.K, G.I. Joe, and Hasbro movie universes. I don't know if that'll ever happen, but of course you just can't combine the toy lines because the scales are so different. Alright, let me show you the one bad guy I have. This is Floyd Malloy and the Vampire motorcycle. So this guy, he's got a funny expression on his face. I don't know how well it comes across here, but of course there's photos on the blog. And, his legs kind of bent. I don't know if it's supposed to be. It's possible to make him fit on this. Or if he just got bent while sitting in a box for many years. He doesn't really sit all that well on this anyway, but I think that's why it's bent. There are little things you could grip if their hands had grips, but they don't, so I don't know what the molding's for, like these little handles there. So, it's a motorcycle, and you press this button here to start the transformation, which will probably knock him off the bike. Yeah, he stayed. And then these wings fold out. So, what happened to the transformation, of course these rockets appeared, this went up, and then the front end dropped down. It's supposed to be a shield, and then a gun becomes more visible. This also has little grips on it, but I don't know what for. Like I keep saying, they just don't have, they're just solid grip, like his hand's a fist, so he can't do anything. Okay, so the bad guys, it does say Venom inside the wing or the tail here. So that's their acronym, Venom, which is sillier than M.A.S.K. This one stands for Vicious Evil Network of Mayhem. Quite a mouthful just to get the word Venom. These do detach if you want to pull them out, the rockets. Some of the stickers are peeling, you'll notice on these toys. But they are old. You may notice dust on some of them. I tried to wipe them down, but there's always dust in all the little crevices. Yeah, he won't stand a chance if I play with the toys because it's him versus 3 M.A.S.K vehicles. He'd get destroyed. Alright, so here's a Corvette. This one is called Raven. Well, I read that this may have originally been called Vampire instead of the other vehicle, so I wonder if it was meant originally to be in the prototype stage as a bad guy. The color scheme on the character isn't great either, but I'll get to that in a second. Let me just show you the Corvette first. Looks like a regular car, but this transforms into a seaplane. So, the wheels come down like this. To me, that looks like it would be like a hover vehicle, like a hovercraft or something. But the front end spins around. There's a button on the side. So then this is facing upward, and the rims have what they call particle blasters that pop up, so extra guns. And then this molding is supposed to be torpedoes. And then the doors open, act like wings, and pressing the license plate spot pops the spoiler. And you have a seaplane. It doesn't really look like a seaplane, but it does look like it would go good on water, I guess. And like I said, the hover part is what I thought it would make more sense, but you don't have to spin it around, I guess. The tires actually do say Goodyear on them, so those are licensed. And what I think is kind of maybe the most unique feature is their seat belts on this one. You don't see seat belts on toy cars very often. They're a little tricky to use. This can hold 2 characters, but you kind of have to pull on the seat belt like when you like hook it around one arm and jam the character in there at the same time, then it snaps into a little spot here. I do have it on the other guy, I think, if it's still in place. Yeah, it's on him right now. Let me just pop him out of here. This guy's name is Calhoun Burns. Like the color scheme doesn't really match the vehicle. But to think that it would have made more sense to not use black as the base color. Black also makes it look more like a bad guy. As I said, like maybe it was originally supposed to be that, but his helmet's also different than the others. It doesn't sit flat on the table because it has this big long piece on the back. Oh yeah, one more feature I failed to mention. I was going to move on. Just one more thing. These. They're called immobilizer discs. Basically circular saw blades. You just convert the car. It's easier to look at when it's back to normal. So there's a button on top here that seatbelt is stuck. So they're meant to fire the discs out of this front slot, but I'm having a hard time doing that. I don't know if it's broken. You can feel the spring in there. It's like if I push it a little bit and let go, it'll shoot. You know, if I can get it. Oh, well, now it got stuck. It won't fire. I don't think it's locking into place exactly. I don't know, but it's in there. I can't, as far as getting to, I was able to snap it out. Not that it matters, it just shoots out obviously. They're hard to get out when this button doesn't work. Yeah, oh well, forget about that. It does drive though, like, well, when the wheels are out. But yeah, that was one of the features, that it shoots a weapon. But I said I can't get it to work right now. So let me switch the camera angle to look at the last one, the Rhino vehicle, just because it's a little big and better to look at from the side than overhead. I mentioned the second and third vehicle I showed you, Vampire and Raven. Those were Series 2. This is another Series 1 vehicle. I said it's the main vehicle in the show. So there's a lot going on with this one. It's called Rhino. And it comes with two characters. Let me show you one of the features right now if I hit the right button. There's an ejection seat. I don't know if he's going to pop out. Depends how tight he's sitting in there. Of course, you wouldn't want to use this on the good guys. So I guess if a bad guy got in there, you can eject him. And there he went. Let me see if I can reach him. Alright, he landed on the chair. He may have caused the camera to shake a little. This one's Bruce Sato. And then the leader of the M.A.S.K group is the driver here. It says Matt Tracker. Show you them with their helmets on. These guys kind of stand. You just gotta balance them. This probably doesn't matter, so I won't bother. So you got the ejection seat. There's a lot here. You can also move the smokestacks down on both sides. And they're supposed to act as guns. Of course, they don't shoot anything on the toy, but in the cartoon, they'd be guns. And there's also another button back here. These are the buttons, the silver rectangles right there. Well, here, let me stand the character in front, because it's really to smash of another vehicle, I guess. Well, this guy doesn't want to stand. There we go. See if the other guy will do better. There you go. I'm really abusing this guy after the ejection seat. Here comes the front end's gonna smash him. And he got launched. I'll just leave him down there. So the grate just comes forward to ram into things. The back end also pops off to be a second vehicle, which is probably what Sato or Brusato is supposed to drive. while Tracker's driving the truck or using the command center, which I'll show you in a second. So they can sit in here. It opens up. So you have a second vehicle. And I guess these are supposed to be guns. Alright, so let me show you the other part. This comes out, and it's a command center in there. It's a little tight quarters, hard to see in there and move a guy around. Well, I guess if you're a kid, you have tinier hands, so you can get in there better. There's stickers, you know, to make it look like computers. And then there's this rocket, which does shoot straight up into the air too. You know, poke your eye out, I guess. If you're a kid, you gotta be careful. That's this little button over here. You push it down. Try not to hit myself. And just launch it straight up. Guess if a flying enemy goes over you, you can try to hit them. I'll launch it again. You can probably barely see it as it launches out of frame pretty quick. It goes about a foot up into the air. You know, you just think here, if I got everything, there's so many little parts to this one. I think that's everything. I did want to give you one other scale comparison, because this one's fairly big. So, I have Optimus Prime here, who is dwarfed significantly by Rhino, and he is tiny. I figure Transformers and G.I. Joe are better known, so if you know the scale of those, you can see just how big this M.A.S.K toy is. Although the characters are tiny, this guy's really quite large. Yeah, Optimus Prime. Well, let's give him a good smash. Alright, so that's it. These are the 4 M.A.S.K toys I own. And check out the blog for a lot of photos of these I took. And a little more information I may have missed. So, thanks for watching.